What's up, everybody? We are live here with another Sunday Start Sit. I am with my guy here, Mike Kulz, who's graced us with his presence this Sunday. I know he was feeling under the weather last Sunday, so a little jab there, but no, it's good to see you, Mike. Hope you're feeling better, man.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about today's games in general, man? Like anything you're kind of noticing out there that you want to share with people, some insights here that when you're talking about Start Sit, some guys that maybe you're not as high on, some guys you are as high on.
Yeah, I'm excited. So just looking at the slate, in terms of people that I like to sit, I just look at low-scoring games, tough defenses at home, that kind of thing. What stands out to me, I think everyone's going to be looking at the Niners every week and see who they're playing. I think this Browns-Steelers game is going to be interesting. That's tomorrow, though. Yeah. So, I mean, Broncos at home are a team this year that I just keep looking at. And, I think the Commanders are going to have a tough day there in Mile High. Not only are you adapting to the to being in Mile High, the altitude, but you have Patrick Surtain, who's going to be all over wide receiver one. Is that Dotson? Is that McLaurin? I don't know that it matters. I think Howell's just going to have a tough day in Mile High.
Yeah.
Jets Cowboys is going to be a great game. I mean, what do you think? What do you think there, Keith? After seeing that Jets defense and how they're going to have to step up every
they're crazy.
Week. Yeah.
It's hard. Like, I mean, so first of all, we talk about the Jets. I mean, obviously, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Garrett Wilson. A lot of people sunk a lot of draft capital into him. Some people even first round draft capital, or at least early second round draft capital, and that ceiling's no longer there. So it's really tough for people that took Garrett Wilson. I mean, that's not how anyone wanted it to go down. But I think people are sleeping on Zach a little bit. I think he'll do okay. I think Garrett will still find his way to at least a very decent floor.
Yeah.
So obviously you start him every single week, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty low scoring affair. Probably that Jets defense looks real, man. So,
man.
So I think anyone on either side of the ball in that game, although, we could talk about the running back situation on the Jets, because I know you were all over that in the preseason, but I think look there for sure. I think they're going to lean on that pretty heavily, right?
Yeah. I mean, so I'm a huge Breece Hall guy. I think his talent is just, next to it's just he's such a high level talent, as you saw. He broke that 80-yard run and just didn't have that final burst to house it, which game one coming off that knee injury, not very surprising there, but you saw everything, his vision, his ability to make break tackles. He's going to have a huge year. And like you said, what do you think Wilson's ceiling on yards is? I mean, I see him as like a 225, 250, he's not going to be your 300-yard passer. So,
no.
So you're going to see that two running back approach. To be honest, I like Dalvin too. I thought he looked all right. I think he can receive out of the backfield. And like you're saying, they're going to be leaned on. So to me, it's going to be one of those game plans every week where you run the ball, you play the you play the field and just lean on your defense, look for turnovers and score points. So I mean, I think Breece Hall, at this point, I don't know. What do you think? Week 4, he probably is just unleashed and is given 20 touches a game.
Yeah. Well, they're going to handle him with kid gloves for the start of it. But yeah, I think you're totally right that. And one thing I want to point out that you mentioned there that I don't think we've really been highlighting as much as we probably should have is if you have Dalvin Cook after Aaron Rodgers went down, you shouldn't be dropping him.
No.
You should absolutely just hold on to him, see the best of it. So I see Isaiah here asking us a question. I was actually going to go ahead and post this because he posted on our Twitter as well. But Zach Ertz, Kyle Pitts, 16-team league, 6 points per touchdown, 10 yards.
Yeah.
So PPR.
I mean, you look at the amount of targets Ertz got, and and the concern of Ritter and the Falcons getting London Pitts the ball, but I'm still going Pitts. I mean, his talent is too hard to put on your bench. And like he was having a really rough game last week. And then he has that like 30 something yard catch. You know what I mean? Like those are the plays you're looking for Pitts on. You have to go Pitts. I think Jair Alexander is going to be on London, and that's going to be tough for London. But Ritter's got to open up that passing game. You're not going to be able to just, throw the ball around the line of scrimmage all week. But
I wanted to look this up because I heard this stat. I think it was on Sirius XM Fantasy Radio, but I had to. I mean, it just like makes me double take. Air yard share for Kyle Pitts in Week 1, 82.5% of the air yard share. So I mean, I like you said, I think Pitts definitely has that upside. I think Ertz had a lot of receptions, obviously, but I just don't see it as being a high upside play. For tight end, I'm always going to go for upside. I think. I mean, is Ertz going to get receptions in the end zone? I think that's the question here. And if he does, I could see him outscoring Kyle Pitts, obviously. But I mean, the yards are definitely going to be in favor of Pitts. So
yeah, I mean, like Ertz is touchdown dependent, right? Pitts not necessarily. So I'm going Pitts there. I wouldn't say I'm high on Pitts. Obviously, Ritter's going to cap you a little bit, but he is, he's going to break out at some point. I mean, his rookie year, he was a very quiet 1,000-yard tight end.
Got a couple of questions this morning in our Discord here. I'm just going to shoot them here. If you guys do have any questions out there, if you're watching, go ahead and shoot them, man. We are here to answer your questions here in the next 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, please do.
So yeah, please let us know. But I do have some stuff here in the Discord that we had that I'll kind of run by you here and get your thoughts on. Kenneth Walker or Joe Mixon in PPR. Who you got there? I'm not sure what the league size is. I'm guessing probably 12 team.
Man, that's tough. So I personally like Kenneth Walker. I just think, your Lions team.
My Detroit Lions, yeah. Noted golf lover here. Yeah, go ahead.
I just like Kenneth Walker. I think that's his backfield. I think people are surprised at the target share. Wasn't a little bit heavier in Charbonneau, my boy, his direction. So I just think it's going to be one of those games where it's high energy and it's super fast paced. And I like Walker against that defense. Yeah. I can just see him running all over Ford Field. So I like Kenneth Walker in that one.
Yeah, it is tough. It's close, but I would also go Walker there as well. So that's
coin flip, right?
Yeah, it is. It is a coin flip.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones versus the Cards, or Anthony Richardson versus the Texans. I don't have context on what the league settings are here, but it doesn't really matter too much. You got Danny Dimes, or you got A Rich here?
I got Dimes. Huge bounce back spot for the Giants. This is my survivor pick. Dabble is just too good of a coach. You hear that narrative now with Josh Allen. It's like, was a lot of his magic from Dabble. And I think that I just think he's an excellent coach. And in this spot, you get absolutely blown out by the Cowboys. That was a horrible.
Yeah.
The Giants aren't a game. Yeah, the Giants aren't a team that's going to get behind and then just like sling the ball and come back like that. So it was just all around. It was a quicksand, horrible game for them. Yeah. Bounce back spot against a team that's clearly tanking. Give me Danny Dimes. Give me Saquon. Give me Darren Waller to have huge days.
Yeah. I've got Darren Waller. If you guys aren't following the player props we have over there, Darren Waller over 4.5 receptions at plus money. I'm taking that for sure. I think it's going to hit. So let's hope. Let's cross our fingers here. Okay, we got another one here. 10-team half PPR, wide receiver and flex spot. So he needs two of these guys: Hopkins, Judy, Harris, and Rashad White. So which two are you going with?
Hopkins and Rashad.
Rashad, okay.
Yeah. For me, like with Rashad, the volume that he saw against a horrible Bears defense, if he's not going to have a massive game this week, then start to get worried. but he sees so many targets. Baker checks down to his running back more than any other quarterback. You should be able to put up a lot of points against the Bears, and if you're going to do that, Rashad's going to be involved. It's one of those backfields where they're going to just give him every single opportunity to succeed, and their backup's Keontae Ingram. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they're going to be hammering Rachaad White. So I like him from a volume perspective. Will he do something with it? We're going to find out, but it's certainly going to be there. And it's against the Bears. So,
yeah.
And then Hopkins, like I'm a little worried about Judy coming back game one. When someone comes back from injury, I tend to see it before I start them. So I don't know how much he'll be involved. That Broncos offense and in week one and Russell, though, it seems like he's just going to kind of come with a pretty balanced approach and share the ball to anyone that wants to catch it. So give me DeAndre Hopkins against a Charger team that gave up 38 points.
Yeah,
the Dolphins. So.
Yeah, I'm not as high on D-Hop probably, but I do think I agree with your assessment there. Maybe I would go Najee over Rachaad White, but I think you're probably right that Rashad's probably in for a big game here.
Yeah, it's Najee's. I mean, the Browns do have the best D line in football. So Rachaad White against a bad Bears team. I'm just going volume and defense, like opposing defense on that.
All right, Javonte Williams or Breece Hall, non-PPR flex.
So that's tough because they're both kind of in the same situation where they're coming back from knee injury. So I'm just going to go again, opposing defense. Like I have the Broncos winning that game. They're at home. Breece is going to Jerry's World, playing the Cowboys defense that just pretty much blanked the Giants. I'm going Javonte in that spot. I think he's going to be ramped up and leaned on early and often for the Broncos because they want to make the playoffs. You know, they brought in Russell. They paid him a lot of money for a reason. There's going to be a little bit of urgency there to win, bringing in Peyton. So give me Javonte.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the spreads here. The Cowboys are 4.5 favorites, point favorites, and then the Broncos are just 4-point favorites. So, I think you're right there. I think I'll go the same way there. And then obviously, next question here: Daniel Jones or I'm guessing Deshaun Watson with Amari Cooper being out. Who you like more in that same league?
So is Cooper for sure out? I saw that his groin.
He's questionable. Popped up late, so it's never a good sign. Obviously, I would lean towards him sitting out, but we'll have to know more. I mean, we just don't know right now. So
I would go Daniel Jones regardless if Cooper's in or out. Tomlin is such a good coach at Pittsburgh. That's going to be a tough, grinded out game for me. I mean, I think a lot of these Browns wins are going to be pound the ball with Chubb, tire defenses out, control the clock, and just play great defense. So I would personally go Danny Dimes. Again, you're playing an Arizona team that's openly tanking, and I just think it's a huge bounce back spot.
Yeah, I think they're going to look good this week to just disappoint probably next week. We'll see about those Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so my brother here, he hates this, but this is the family league. This is funny because he's got a crappy situation here. Full PPR, Kadarius Toney or George Pickens. Who are you going with?
I mean, like, this is one of those where you're going to, like, Pickens is a no-brainer to me, but Toney will end up with like 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, I would go Pickens. It really comes down to how big of a home run swing do you need from this start?
Yeah.
I do think Pickens, but also, you know, we just talked about that game being ugly. Deontay Johnson's out, so Pickens is getting all the targets, but I could also see a scenario where Andy Reid is like, let's feed Toney a lot early to try to just forget about what happened last week. I'm going Pickens, man. What do you think?
Let me tell you, he says opponent has Mahomes, so that's kind of interesting there. I would say, I think I agree with you. Pickens, I think, is
Pickens.
probably my
Yeah.
pick there. But I will say that Kadarius Toney, had he not had the dropsies in week 1, would have gone, supposedly the projected expected outcome would have been 120 yards and a touchdown. So, that's a pretty darn good game, but I don't know if you can trust it. Like, I don't know. It's tough.
I'm not. I mean, you saw Mahomes. He's like, we need him to be the guy.
And Kelsey's back now. I mean, I don't know. I think with Kelsey being there, I think Pickens is definitely the way I'd go there. So
if that's me, I'm starting Pickens, and it's one of those situations where I'm just like,
yeah,
you have to start Pickens. But if Toney has a ridiculous game, like, good, because he's still on my team, but also like, classic fantasy, right?
I've got tons of best ball shares, so I'm happy if he has a good game. Let's talk about some of the most recent news here that we've had dropping. Obviously, Mark Andrews in, so Isaiah Likely we can obviously drop. I mean, how are you feeling about Andrews today? Do you think he's going to get a full workload? He got in full practices. I mean, it seems like they kept him out like precautionary reasons at week 1 matchup. So, what do you think about Andrews this week here?
Yeah, I think he should have a pretty. I mean, top 2, it's Kelsey and Andrews. So I think the Ravens, when he's in the offense, he's a massive part of it. And I'm just excited to continue to see this offense develop. So you saw Zay Flowers get pounded with targets. Obviously, Dobbins going down is tough, but the Ravens have been in that situation before. I'm excited to see Zay and Andrews complement one another. I think that's going to be a really good, tough game, but there's going to be growing pains throughout the year, and that chemistry between Lamar and Andrews is something Lamar is going to lean on whenever going through those growing pains. So, I expect a massive year out of Andrews.
Let's talk about the Colts backfield a little bit. Obviously, Zach Moss coming back. Deion Jackson looked terrible last week. I mean, let me ask a couple of questions here. So first of all, obviously, I think Zach Moss is probably the preferred target here. That's the first question. The second question is, does Zach Moss coming back and them having an actual run game cap Anthony Richardson's ceiling a little bit, or is that not going to happen?
No, I think it's the other way around. I think it's Moss's ceiling is capped from Richardson. That's just going to always be a huge part of Richardson's game, because that's what makes him, an elite level athletic quarterback, So having the ability of being 6'6" and 200 and whatever 50 pounds, and running, I don't know, a 4.4, whatever he runs, like, that is a huge part of his game. So you're not going to take that away from Zach Moss. But, I do think Zach Moss is their best option. So we'll see what it looks like. I don't know. I don't think it really caps Richardson at all. But I am excited to see what the Colts do. Like, I think they're trying to win games, I think they should lose games and go get Marvin Harrison Jr. and bring your best receiver's son to the team and give him a high level target like that. But
my best receiver's son, I like it. This is from Twitter here. I just put out a kind of all call for anybody having any questions here. It's who do I flex? Najee Harris, Chris Godwin, Kyron Williams, or Tutu Atwell. I don't have any league settings, unfortunately, but
Godwin.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, Bears defense give up a lot of points. I think they're going to be giving up a lot of points all year. But Godwin, Evans scored last week. I think Godwin scores this week. I think that he is, going to get 8 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. So Kyron Williams, a little hesitant to start right now. I mean, I am going to over Akers. It's such a tough start to make, but it does look like that it's his backfield. 2-2. I mean, Yeah, that's a big swing, but against the Niners defense, are you really comfortable starting Tutu Atwell against the Niners? No. And then Najee, I don't like that matchup against the Browns D line.
All right, so here you go. A little off topic, but how crazy was that Colorado game last night? Any thoughts there?
The Prime effect is real. I've been saying that for so long. I love Prime. He's up there on potentially my Mount Rushmore of humans. I just think his ability to make those guys believe and buy in is unreal. I wish they didn't have to go to overtime. I was definitely sweating that one out. I had Colorado, so I took them live, but. Yeah, it was incredible. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be a guy that we're talking about on this show in a year or two.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah. Okay, so not too many questions here, but we do have some news dropping. Obviously, Aaron Jones ruled inactive. Not a super duper surprise there. How are you feeling about AJ Dillon?
Not
good. No, not good. Okay, talk to me about that one. Talk to me about that.
I mean, I just don't think he's good. Like his opportunity is going to be there, and that Packers Falcons game is going to be a great one to watch. I'm excited to watch it, but I don't think Dillon has looked good. You remember the narrative last year? It was like Dillon's going to take over this backfield. He's going to have a huge target share, and like they tried to give him that opportunity, and he just didn't run with it. He wasn't that impressive. And then you saw it again against the Bears, man. Like Aaron Jones was fantastic when they gave him the ball. And then you brought in Dillon, and it's like they're trying to make it the thunder to his lightning. And it's just like very underwhelming to me. So I don't expect much.
Little Rondane and Tiki Barber talk there. That brings me back to the days of fantasy football long ago.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no other real news here. Actually, Austin Eckler has officially been ruled out. So
yeah.
How are you feeling about Joshua Kelly here? I've got him all over in DFS. I think he's going to be a popular play, but do you think he's going to have a big game? I've got his over in rush yards. I mean, he had 90 something last week. I think it was even with Eckler in there.
What's his over under?
It was like 52.5, I think it was. So,
yeah, I think he's going to have that's a extremely high producing fantasy backfield in general. So Chargers are going to put up points. I do think that's going to be kind of a gross game. I think Vrabel is just going to have it's kind of similar to the Patriots at home against the Dolphins. Like, Patriots are going to try to just make it a gross game. So I think you're going to see some of that, but that shouldn't affect Kelly. I think he's going to be a top 15 running back this week, just from that high producing backfield as a position. So yeah, I like Kelly. He looks great.
I've got some question here. Another question here on Twitter here. Wayne is asking me, Wayne of Steel, a PPR league here. He's got this is probably, I already know what you're going to answer here, but he's got Garrett Wilson in right now. On his bench, he's got Elijah Moore, Romeo Dobbs, and Puka Nacua. He's wondering if you should bench Wilson. Don't bench Wilson. You going to echo me on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I just don't get cute. So I just know more times than not, you're going to get burned when you get cute. That being said, will one of those guys outperform Wilson? Maybe. But I don't love, Puka is playing the Niners. Elijah Moore, I could see that, but he's going to be in Pittsburgh. I think it's primetime Pittsburgh, going to be kind of a gross game. TJ Watt's all over the place. None of those stand out to me from a matchup standpoint where I'm that's intriguing. You got to go with your top talent. He's wide receiver 1. You drafted him in the end of the first or beginning of the second for a reason.
I think of those other guys he's got on his bench, Elijah Moore, Dobbs, and Nacua. Dobbs has been one of my guys.
I like them all.
Since
yeah.
Preseason.
That's a good deep
It
wide
is.
receiver room, you know.
It is. His running backs suck. Actually, he's got Rashad White, James Conner, Javonte Williams, and Khalil Herbert. So not loving that running back room, but wide receivers, you did well, man. You got a really deep wide receiver room there, and I think Dobbs is the guy. Like I was gonna say, with Christian Watson out, Aaron Jones out. I think he's definitely gonna get targets in the red zone. So
I mean, you saw him 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be on a snap count. I
Yeah.
sat him because of that in a league, and then he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
10-team standard. Kelly or Connor? Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly, Joshua Kelly or James Conner. Yeah, I'm going to go Joshua Kelly today.
Kelly, for sure.
Yep, I would definitely go with that. Yeah, if you guys haven't already, appreciate that, Ace of Spades. If you guys are listening in here, we are going to do this every Sunday, weeks 1 through 4, maybe beyond. We'll see. We're not getting a whole lot of questions here in Discord. We get some here and there, but if we decide we want to do it a little longer than that, hit us with a like and subscribe if we're seeing that happening. Obviously, that will entice us to do this a little bit more, but we do enjoy doing this. We're going to hang around for another 5 minutes. So if you're just sitting out there and haven't asked your question yet, me to hit us now, because we do have to go set our lineups. So definitely go do that. The question earlier with the Godwin, Najee, Kyron Williams, or Tutu Atwell, it's a 10-team half-point PPR. I don't think that changed anything. It's still Godwin for us. So there you go. Crippled. Oh gosh, I shouldn't say it. Thank you, Dan, for your question. And we'll talk to you soon, buddy. Full PPR, DJ Moore or Zay Flowers. That's an interesting one. What do you got there, man?
That is an interesting one. Man, your brother's just coming in with the heavy hitters. That is very interesting. Gosh, that's tough. I would probably go Moore, because I think the Bears are going to win, and I think that they're going to make a point to get more involved. Yeah. So I think he's going to score a touchdown today.
The latest on Justin Fields,
so tough.
It is tough. I think you can go either way, but I think the latest on I agree with you there. I think it's DJ Moore. Latest on Justin Fields is that they want him to throw downfield. I mean, they're reiterating that after week 1. We didn't see that enough. I mean, he had 2 passes of 20+ yards and 0 30+ yards. So we're going to see that more this week. I think, I'm all over props for Darnell Mooney, because I do think he's going to get at least 1 long reception here today. But I do think DJ Moore is the other guy. I think I would definitely start Moore here. I'm not super the Zay Flowers, the last thing we had on him, last bit of news was he wasn't necessarily going to get the same target share he had in week 1, and now Mark Andrews is back. So I think everything's just leaning towards Moore from me here, but I do think that is a very close one. Ryan's asking, is Amari Cooper out? No. As far as I know, the last we have is he's just questionable. So.
I just saw he's unlikely to play 3 minutes ago from Schefter.
Well, there you go. Unlikely to play. We will have that up on our Ethos Fantasy Football blurb feed soon. But he is unlikely to play, it sounds like, there, Ryan. So, okay, here we go. We got another question here. Should I start Kincaid again or pivot to Henry from, I'm guessing, the waiver wire here? So, Kincaid or Henry?
Kincaid, I think it's going to be a massive game for the Bills. So, I do really like Henry. He was Mac Jones's guy 2 years ago. I think he's going to have a good season, but Kincaid, you have a tight end who's targeted like a wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go ahead and post this here. This is from our guy Shane McCormick. If you guys don't follow Shane, I'm good. I'm just going to post this here.
Yeah.
And of course, the 49ers going to be all screwed up, but finished his tight end 18 last week, but don't focus on that. Focus instead on 76% route rate, 84% snap count, 59% slot rate. So, he's got the upside for sure. I would stick with Kincaid there. Looks like we got one more from my brother here. Full PPR. So Joshua Kelly or Samaje P. Ryan?
Kelly, no doubt.
Yeah.
I like P. Ryan, though. I think you saw last week that he's going to be heavily involved in the passing game. I do really like P. Ryan. I think the Broncos have a good game and win, but you have to go Kelly, Yeah.
Got a couple other questions here dropping in on Twitter. T. Higgins or Garrett Wilson? This is an 18 PPR league. Who are you going there?
That's pretty close, man. Gosh,
Yeah,
I might go T. Higgins, to be honest. Just from I like the game standpoint, I like Burrow just having a bounce back game and getting Higgins involved, who didn't have any catches last week. I may go Higgins because of matchup and bounce back. Just kind of that game script for the Bengals. I think it's going to be a awesome, fun to watch game against the Ravens. They have to win that game. You can't go 0-2 against divisional opponents to start the year. Two teams that you're going to be battling till the end to win the division. They have to win this game and show up pretty big,
Yeah. Got another couple here from Twitter. I've got half PPR, Mike Williams, Miles Sanders, Josh Kelly, or Dylan, and then tight end Njoku or Laporta.
Half point PPR, so that's the flex they're talking about, right?
Yeah, flex, right? Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, I probably go Kelly there, right? Again, just from
Miles Sanders is intriguing, but yeah, I think
you still go Kelly. I mean, just like the amount of you've seen what Eckler's done the last couple seasons. Like Kelly seems like he doesn't really skip a beat. Obviously, he's not Eckler, but he looked really good. So they're not gonna they're not gonna limit his touches because he's the backup running back. He looks good, and he looks like he. I go Kelly. I just think I think they're going to feed him just like they would feed Eckler, and that's proven to be pretty good. So, Njoku and Laporta.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, now we have Omar Cooper, so
yeah. I think that does matter. This is a tough one, man. You probably go Njoku, but I would rather start Laporta. I would go Laporta. Like the right move is probably Njoku, especially because, like you said, Cooper out. That should add targets his way. But like, you could also see a situation where this game at home, Ford Field, the Lions are buzzing. Fast-paced offense, and Laporta is a huge part of that because this team wants to showcase its new weapons. I could see Laporta having a huge day, you know what I mean? And I would not want to miss out on that.
Yeah.
I just think the Seahawks-Lions game is going to have points. I see it's over-unders 47. I would go over on that.
Yeah.
I think that Goff at home is going to just kind of be showcasing his new toys in front of a buzzing crowd.
My guy, yes. I've got my guy. I've got my guy in DFS. I will not be ashamed to admit it. I've got him all over the place. I'm going big. I'm expecting a big Goff, a big Amon-Ra St. Brown game.
I agree.
I do think that Laporta could be involved as well. I do think there's definitely a ceiling there as well. So, all right, last one here from Twitter. He needs a wide receiver 3, full PPR. He's got Hollywood Bourne, B-O-U-R-N-E, or Tutu Atwell. So it's Kendrick Bourne, Tutu Atwell, or Hollywood Brown.
Gross.
PPR. I know, yeah. That's not, none of those are great.
Gross.
Who do you, let me have you answer first.
It's disgusting, but Kendrick Bourne.
Okay.
And I don't really want to say why, but I will. Dolphins are going to give up points, yards. I actually think the Patriots are going to muck it up and win that game, to be honest. I think public is going to be all over the Dolphins, and Belichick is just going to take away Tyreek and force Tua to, I guess, go to a banged up Waddle. I don't know. I can just see the Patriots making that gross, and Mac's going to have to throw the ball again and score in order to win that game. So Bourne looks to be his guy in that receiver room. It's disgusting. I don't want to start any Patriots wide receivers, but what's more disgusting is a team who is openly tanking. So I'm staying away from the Cardinals.
All right, last one here. Amari Cooper out, so is Elijah Moore going to start over Miles Sanders in PPR?
I mean, like probably not, but again,
Yeah,
it's one of those just tough situations where it's like I don't get cute. I go to the guy who I drafted for a reason. I go to the guy who I know is going to get a very healthy target share. I just never get cute. I feel like when you do, yeah, it feels good if it hits, but you get burned more times than not. I just don't get cute, man. It's
I think I think I'll go
not fun, but
I think I'll go Miles Sanders there. I mean, I think Elijah Moore could have a big game. It could happen, obviously, but yeah, I think risk averse. I mean, but hey, look at it this way: whatever you need from that spot, like you said earlier, if you need a big home run because you're like, not you're behind by so many points. I mean, who do they have? Miles. I don't know, when does that Carolina game start? I'm not sure if is it one of the early games, probably, right?
probably at noon.
Let me see. If it's a noon game, I mean, obviously you have to make a choice now. So
No, it's Monday night.
Oh, it's Monday night. Perfect. So
Yeah,
you can wait. You can wait on this. So wait on this.
See what you need. Yeah.
Yeah. If you need a huge home run, I go more. If you just need someone to just produce.
Casey, how about this? Tweet Keith and myself your matchup on Sunday evening tonight. Show us where you're at, and we will have a better, more in-depth insight.
Yeah.
Because it will matter what you need what you need there. I mean, listen, the Saints defense looks to be pretty good again. They like having an awesome defensive line, and it seems to be that way. Over under 39.5. Like, I think if you just need someone who is going to score you 10 points and get a very healthy target share to get you those easy 10 points, and go Sanders. If you need someone to potentially hit you a home run and score, 120 points and a touchdown, then let's think about going more. But let Keith and I know. Tweet us.
Yeah.
At Ethos Keith at Kulz_sports. Tweet us, and we will.
Yeah.
We'll be more informed at that point. So
we'll hit you with some answers. But yeah, go follow us on Twitter, guys. That's going to do it for us. We are done taking questions here. But if you guys have any further questions, I did just post on Twitter maybe about 30 minutes ago. You can hit me there, and I will try to get some of our guys here to answer those questions for you. But again, follow us on Twitter at Ethos Keith at Kulz Sports. We're going to go set our lineups now. If you guys haven't already liked the video, go subscribe. Stay tuned here. We will see you guys next week. Appreciate you, Kulz, and see you guys next week.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.